The first instant induction that I've ever heard anybody document was the Abbey Faria. And what he would do is he would have somebody, he would entertain at parties. He was a party animal. He'd sit him in a chair and he'd say, just sit there and think about sleep. Just relax and think about sleep. You can close your eyes. And then he would go, sleep! And the person would go, and sometimes he would go into trance. It's a shock induction. And if it didn't work the first time, he'd do it another time. And if on the third time he did it, it didn't work, then he'd say, you're one of those unhypnotizable people. You won't go in. And he'd grab somebody else. But that's the first documented instant induction I heard of. But there might be something before that. First of all, I'm going to teach you how to hypnotize reliably. Now, one of the ugly little truths about hypnosis is a lot of people who call themselves hypnotists really aren't confident in their ability to put people into trance. And that's a shame, because if you don't already know it, it is one of the easiest things in the world to do, to put people into hypnosis. Everyone that you work with is a good hypnotic subject. That's a great mindset to have. And gosh, this stuff is so easy. It's absolutely the truth. There should be very few people that you can't hypnotize. I'm going to give you simple steps to follow to make these inductions happen. Now, of course, I'm going to teach you how to do this quickly. The other sad little truth about hypnosis is that 90% of the hypnotists out there use a progressive muscle relaxation induction, which can take a very, very long time. And it's just not usable for some things. Some stage operators use a form of a progressive muscle relaxation. And I think that's okay, but it does take a long time before you actually get to your show, and that can cause some problems for you too, because if you're taking a long time to get your committee into hypnosis, you know, who knows who's sitting out in the audience and maybe had a few too many and is going to start heckling or doing something else. So as the sooner you can get these people into hypnosis and get down to business, I think the better for you and the better for your show. There are very few ways, very few steps in putting somebody into hypnosis. Some of it's going to be flair and you're going to see it for what it is, and some of it is very important and clever, and you're going to see that. Because what I really want you to do is, after you finish this, I want you to be able to make up your own inductions. Why would you want to learn these instant inductions? Well, the first one, which really inspired this type of course, was I was teaching up in Ottawa, and one of the hypnotists there came up to me and he said, at the end of the class, and he said, you know what, this has been really great because now I know what to do when I'm at a party and they say, you're a hypnotist? Well, show me something. You said that you're hoping to do some instant inductions. And the thing is, that's not really supposed to be part of this class. But one of the things he even did for that's right. You're doing great. Just drift down. Just relax. That's right. Just feel really, really relaxed there. Put your arm up there. That's right. And drift down. Listen to the sound of my voice. And sound of my voice can always help you to go deeper and deeper. Relax. That's right. You're doing really well. One of the things the reasons I wanted to do that is because this individual is just so hard to get into trance. And I was hoping that if we could get her into trance today, that things would work out a lot nicer. And the other thing, I felt really bad the last time I was here because poor Joyce had difficulty getting into trance because she just Even deeper. That's right. Just relax, relaxing more and more. Feeling wonderful in every way. It was a great disappointment to me last time because I wasn't able to get Joyce into trance, and so I was hoping that I was going to be able to do that today. But the thing that really disappointed me the most last time was poor Maggie Jo, because Maggie Jo she has a hard time if she looks up here, she just has a hard time. And as my hand goes closer, it's harder for her, and she wants to go in, but she just can't, it's just so hard. But she relaxes very nicely, and that's almost as good as going into trance. Show me how that works. And most hypnotists can't do anything because, okay, you got about a half an hour while I do my progressive muscle relaxation induction. That's not going to work. It's not going to work in a dental office. It's not going to work in a medical office. Just won't work. So you're going to have skills that you can show people when they say, well, show me. How's that work? You can show them right away with confidence. Most stage hypnotists don't know how to do these instant inductions because they're not, it's not a safe show not that you would harm somebody, but it's not, what happens if it doesn't work? And that's in the back of their minds, a lot of them. So if you're doing stage shows, you're going to know how to do this. And that is so cool because after you've done a show, everybody wishes they had gotten up and gotten on stage. And you can, what an opportunity for somebody who wants to practice their instant inductions. Meet me down below the stage, and I'll show anybody who wants to know what hypnosis is like. And you just line them up and knock them down. It'll be lots of fun, and you'll get a lot of practice in. But this will really spice up a show. I know reinductions look really cool in a show, but to do an instant induction in a show, I think is very neat. I got a call years ago from a disc jockey, and he said, what had happened? I think it was a bridge collapse? Because that was my big thing, working with people with a phobia of going over tall bridges. And he called me up and he asked me if we could do an interview over the air on the phone. And I said, yeah, I'll do the interview. And before we went on air, he said, look, when we do this, can you hypnotize me? And I thought about it, and I thought, what an incredibly dumb thing to do. I'm going to hypnotize you on the air with all these listeners driving through Baltimore into telephone poles and saying that dirty hypnotist put me into trance. So you can't do some inductions on the radio, but you can absolutely do these inductions on the radio. You cannot hypnotize somebody long distance with an instant induction. It doesn't work that way. So these are really safe to do on television or on the radio because nobody out in the listening or viewing audience is going to go into hypnosis. It is impossible for a dental office or for a medical office. This is really good because you don't have to waste time. You don't have time with a patient. You don't have time to do a 5-minute or longer induction. That just won't work. That's right. Another deep breath. Sleep. Even deeper. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. And stand in perfect balance. And stop rotating your head. You go even deeper. Go even deeper. Good. Let go every muscle. Let go every nerve. Let go every fiber. Just relax and go much deeper. 10, 9, 8, drifting down. That's right. 7, 6, 5. I'm going to support you, relaxing more and more. In a moment, I'm going to be working on your arm here. You'll know I'm working here, but nothing I do will bother or disturb you at all. Because I want you to do something else for me. This is something that I got from my friend Patrick Coleman. What I want you to do, Gary, is I want you to, as I hold your wrist up here, I want you to roll your eyes up in your head like you were looking through a skylight right in the top of your forehead, like you were looking at a skylight in the top of your forehead. And imagine you're looking up at a beautiful blue sky. There might be fluffy white clouds floating by. There might be birds flying by. They might be beautifully colored. And you just keep imagining that. And as you do, nothing I do will bother you at all. That's right. You just keep imagining that. You continuing to imagine that? Yeah, you just watch that. That's right. Good. Now, in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3. And when I reach the number 3, your eyes open, you feel wonderful. And you're just feeling good and not angry at the hypnotist at all. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open. See how good you feel. You feel good, don't you? We're still friends? All right. Thank you, Gary. All you felt was pressure. Yeah. So with this, you can do it instantly. You can get pretty good anesthesia probably in about, well, you can do it instantly, or I can show you how to slow down a couple things and make them non-physical inductions and actually get good anesthesia, decent anesthesia in about 30 seconds. So, so it's really good if you just want to do hypnotherapy. I use these all the time in hypnotherapy. Sometimes, usually I'll use a Dave Ellman induction the first time I meet somebody, and then at the end of the session, if they're coming back for another session, I say, I just want to condition you so that next time we'll have more time to do the therapy. And then I just drop them, and then the next time and every other time they come in to see me, we just do a hand drop induction or an arm pull induction, and away we go. Some people, I do use the arm pull or the hand drop induction the first time I see them, if I sense that they're going to be a difficult one, but they're so few and far between.
Put the hands out like this again. All right? Put your palms together so you can feel it together. All right? Interlock your fingers, all of them. All right? And stiffen up those elbows and concentrate on that top knuckle. Okay? Concentrate on that top knuckle. All right? I want you to lock those fingers, lock it tight, okay?
And interlock your fingers. Squeeze those hands tightly together.
Tighter and tighter. My hands are locking. My hands are locking. It's as if those hands were carved from one single block of wood, one single piece. Think to yourself, my hands are locked. My hands are locked.
Squeezing tighter and tighter. It's as if those hands were welded together, fused together. Think to yourself, my hands are locking. My hands are locking.
My hands are locked. Breathe. As if those hands were carved from a single block of wood, one single piece. Think to yourself, my hands are locked. My hands are locked. In a moment, I'm going to have you try to pull them apart, but find the harder you try to pull them apart, the more tightly they lock. Try to pull them apart, they stick tighter. Try harder, they stick tighter. Try harder, they stick tighter.
It's as if those hands were carved from a single block of wood, a single piece. Think to yourself, my hands are locked. My hands are locked, squeezing tighter and tighter. Now, in a moment, I'm going to have you try to pull them apart, but you find that the harder you try to pull them apart, the more tightly they stick. Tighter and tighter, try to pull them apart. And the harder you try to pull them apart, try harder. And the harder you try, the more tightly they stick together. Just tighter and tighter and tighter. In a moment, I'll clap my hands, and when I do, they release. Release. Good. Okay, excellent. I think everybody locked. Okay. Now, this is a really, really good exercise with people, and you'll find at a party they'll be standing there and they'll start laughing because they just cannot get their hands apart. They can't understand why they can't get their hands apart. Now, one of the things that goes on in here is when you've got them doing that, they are absolutely in a state of hypnosis as they stare at that top knuckle.
Now interlock your fingers, right, and stare at that top knuckle there.
They're already hypnotized. They don't know that, but they are, okay? And you can turn this into an induction, and I'll show you how to do that. But yes, so that's a really good one. Now, the parts to it are, you want their hands, you want them nice and tight, squeezing tight where the palms are doing it, and you want those elbows locked. Because if you get them like this, there's a decent chance that they're going to pull them apart. Okay? And when you go through, you say, think to yourself, my hands are locking, my hands are locking. And then the third on 3, my hands are locked, my hands are locked. And then you have them try to pull them apart. Now, for the few people that don't have a whole bunch of hypnosis experience, try is a very special word, because trying implies failure. Exactly. So, I mean, have you ever had somebody, you were maybe having a party and you said, hey, you guys going to come by? And they said, yeah, we're going to try to make it. Did they ever show up? Ever? No, never. So try. When we give these challenges to people, we're going to use try a lot. So Jeff, what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate for them how to do that again, all right? So what I want you to do is I want you to squeeze those hands together, all right? Put them out in front of you and lock those elbows, okay? Lock them tight, okay? And stare at that top knuckle. Squeeze them together tighter. In a moment I'm going to count, concentrate right there. In a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 3. As I do, feel those hands getting tighter and tighter together. 1, feel those hands getting tighter and tighter together as if they were super glued together. Think to yourself, my hands are locking. My hands are locking. Those hands are locking together tightly as if they were super glued together. Even tighter, even tighter. Stare right there. And 2, it's as if those hands were welded shut.
locked tight, glued together. Think to yourself, my hands are locking, my hands are locking. And 2, it's as if those hands were welded together, fused together. Think to yourself, my hands are locking, my hands are locking. And 3, it's as though the hands were carved from a single block of wood, one single piece. And 3, it's as if those hands were welded together, fused together, as if they were carved from a single block of wood. In fact, they're so tight together that they will not come apart. Think to yourself, my hands are locked, my hands are locked. Think to yourself, my hands are locking, my hands are locked, my hands are locked. In a moment, I'm going to have you try to pull them apart. And the harder you try to pull them apart, the more tightly they stick. Try to pull them apart, they stick tighter. Try harder, they stick tighter. Try harder, they stick tighter. Sleep. Even deeper here. And keep getting tighter and tighter. Just right there. In fact, so tight they will not come apart. Try to pull them apart, they get tighter. Try harder, they get tighter. Try harder, they get tighter. Sleep. Let your head just go deeper and deeper. It's tighter and tighter. Sleep. Even deeper. That's right. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. Just drifting down. Just letting go. Just relaxing more and more. And steel in your legs. Good. Steel in your legs. Good. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I reach number 3, your eyes open. You feel wonderful. I want to leave you with one suggestion. The suggestion is that the next time you go into hypnosis, you'll find you go in even deeper and even faster, and it feels even better. That's the nature of hypnosis. You get better at it the more you do it. 1, feel your energy coming up, feeling really good now. 2, energy level rising, feeling just so nice and comfortable. And on the next number, your eyes open, you feel wonderful. And 3, eyes open, see how good you feel. You feel good, don't you? Good, man. Thank you very much. Give me a hand. Hello? Good, how are you doing?
I'm gonna call you back.
They're here because we're doing a project here, and we're demonstrating hypnosis in Annapolis. Oh, it's not scary, actually. It's you know, it's 100% consent state, and it just feels wonderful. And I mean, absolutely wonderful.
Okay.
Just come on up here. I'll show you. Oh no, we don't do silly. We don't do. No, I promise.
Okay.
We don't do things like that. The reason for the pre-talk is not to educate them about hypnosis. The reason for the pre-talk is to get them to let you hypnotize them. That's the reason. Okay. Now, you would not do anything to harm them or make them do anything they wouldn't want to do, and you're not going to make them tell secrets, and they're not going to get stuck in hypnosis. So is it inappropriate for you to tell them these things? In general, these are true statements, but when you really look at them, they're not quite true. Okay? But the pre-talk is not to educate. The pre-talk is to get them to agree to be hypnotized. If you're doing therapy or if you're doing a stage show, and you say, well, folks, you know, you wouldn't do anything against your morals. Well, almost always you wouldn't do anything against your morals. There are a significant number of people that are not going to go into trance now because you've just frightened them. And I'd just like to explain a few things about hypnosis, because there are a lot of misconceptions out there. Now, the 3 common misconceptions about hypnosis are: 1, that you lose control; 2, that you would tell secrets; and 3, that you could get stuck in hypnosis. And I'm going to tell you how none of those are true, okay? All right, I get them in my office for therapy. I want to get them into hypnosis as quickly as possible so I can do the therapy. So my pre-talk is very brief, and here is my pre-talk exactly as I give it. I say, well, have you ever been hypnotized before? 95% of them say no. And I say, well, that's the case with most of my clients. Most of my clients have never been hypnotized before. But let me tell you about some common misconceptions about hypnosis. The first common misconception about hypnosis is that you lose control. You're not going to lose control, walk around like a zombie. You know, you're not going to do those things, okay? In fact, I'm going to show you how to take control of a part of your mind that you normally don't have control over, your subconscious. And this is the bigger part of your mind. This is the part that makes you do what you do. So I'm going to show you how to control that. You're actually going to gain control of a part of your mind that you don't normally have control over. That's your subconscious. It's a 100% consent state. If at any point you decide, well, I've had enough hypnosis for today, you pop your eyes open, you're out of hypnosis. You won't do anything in hypnosis that you wouldn't normally do. You would never do anything in hypnosis that you wouldn't normally do. You would never do anything against your moral, religious, or personal values, or something you just didn't feel like doing. When you're deep in hypnosis, if I ask you to go like this or stand on your head, you're not going to do it unless you felt like doing it, and you don't feel like doing that, do you? Yeah. No. If I were to ask you in hypnosis, would you go stand on your head? You'd say, I don't think so. You just wouldn't do it, okay? So that's not a problem. Second common misconception about hypnosis is that people would tell secrets in hypnosis, and this is not true at all.
If you had a secret to keep in your normal waking state, you would keep it in hypnosis.
If you had a secret to keep in your normal waking state, you're going to keep it in hypnosis. You're not going to give me the PIN number for your ATM.
And you're not going to give me the PIN number for your ATM card. All right. It wouldn't happen.
You will not give me the PIN number for your ATM card or tell me your deepest, darkest secret. You just won't do it, okay? The third common misconception is that people could get stuck in hypnosis.
Now, this is absolutely not true. In 4,000 years of people being hypnotized, no one has ever been stuck in hypnosis.
And it's absolutely impossible. If I were to hypnotize you and then leave you alone, maybe go out for coffee or something like that, which I would never do that to you, but if I were, you would come out of hypnosis, you'd open your eyes, and you'd come out of hypnosis all by yourself. You can't get stuck in hypnosis. It's never happened in 4,000 years of people getting hypnotized. Although some of the states of hypnosis are so wonderful, you feel absolute bliss, just absolute euphoria. You wish you could get stuck, but you can't. Okay? So, those are the common misconceptions. Now, do you have any questions before I hypnotize you? And every one of them will say, nope. And away we go. All right, now, how long did that take? Probably just a minute and a half or 2 minutes, something like that? Okay. Now, let me show you exactly how I do that and point it out what I'm doing, okay? So I say, first of all, I let them know that almost everybody I see has never been hypnotized before, and I tell them that some people think the common misconception is that you lose control. And as I do that, I'm shaking my head. Lose control like it's the dumbest thing you ever heard in your life, okay? There's no loss of control in hypnosis. There's no loss of control in hypnosis. In fact, you would never do anything in hypnosis that you wouldn't normally do. You'd never do anything in hypnosis that was against your moral, religious, or personal values, or just something you thought was silly. You'd never do anything against your moral, religious, or personal values, or you would never do anything that you just didn't think was a very good idea. You just wouldn't do it. And if I asked you to stand on your head, if I asked you to stand on your head, you'd just say no. You know, give them a ridiculous example, and they'll say, okay, right, got it. I feel good about that. Fear number one, down the drain. Okay, fear number two. Now this one's a little bit trickier. You say, the second common misconception about hypnosis is that you would tell secrets in hypnosis. When you do that, don't look at them. Don't look them in the eyes, especially the guys. So, because sometimes if you say, the other common misconception, the second one, is that you would tell secrets in hypnosis. And you're looking at them, and sometimes you get this deer in the headlights, because there's something that they would never tell anybody, and they're scared that it would come out in hypnosis. Don't look them in the eye, men or women. Just look down to the ground, shake your head like it was the dumbest thing you ever heard in your life, is that you would tell secrets in hypnosis. If you had a secret to keep in your normal waking state, you'd keep it in hypnosis. You're not going to give me the PIN number for your ATM card. You're not going to give the hypnotist the PIN number for your ATM card. It just wouldn't happen.
If you had a secret to keep in your normal waking state, you would keep it in hypnosis. You will not give the hypnotist the PIN number to your ATM card.
They'll laugh. God, I've said that 1,000,000 times, but I laugh along with them. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that you would tell secrets in your ATM card. They laugh back, and then when they stop laughing, you say, yeah, it's if you had a secret to keep in your normal waking state, you'd keep it in hypnosis. Good, that fear, gone. The third common misconception is that somebody could get stuck in hypnosis. Again, dumbest thing you ever heard. When you're in hypnosis, not if, this is going to happen. You're going into hypnosis. When you're in hypnosis, if I were to go and get coffee or something like that, which I would never do. If I decided in the middle of the session that I wanted to go out for coffee and I left you here, which I would never do, after just a minute or so, you'd get bored, you'd wonder why I stopped talking to you, and then you'd open your eyes and emerge from hypnosis. If I did something like that, you would emerge from hypnosis all by yourself. You can't get stuck. In 4,000 years of people being hypnotized, nobody ever got stuck in hypnosis. So that one gone too. And a very, very important phrase. So, do you have any other questions before I hypnotize you? Not before we see if maybe I can get you into hypnosis. We're talking about something that we know is going to happen. You know it and I know it. So, do you have any questions before I hypnotize you? It's very rare that anybody will say they have a question. If they do, just deal with the question. That means there might be some fear there that you need to take care of. Most of them will say, nope. And I add in a little bit extra thing. I kind of stack the deck a little bit more. Most of my clients are women. About 80% of my hypnotherapy clients are women. So they're in a chair and I'm in a chair beside them. And I say a couple of other things about hypnosis is that they used to think that only 20% of the population could be hypnotized. A couple more things I want to mention to you. They used to say about hypnosis is that only 20% of the population could be hypnotized. Now, we now know that it's 100%. Anyone of normal intelligence, and that's obviously not a problem for us here today. Okay, good. Anyone of normal intelligence goes into hypnosis easily. Anyone of normal intelligence goes into hypnosis really well. Whenever I'm working with a lady or a child, I always have this little camera going over here as I point to the little Logitech $30 camera that's hooked into my laptop. And I say, I always have this little camera here. I say, it's just video, it's not audio. And I say, the funny thing is, I've been using this camera for 4 years, and one of the interesting things I found is that since I started using it, my clients go into trance even easier. I imagine they just look at the camera and they go, oh, there's a camera there, I feel even safer, and out they go. And so they laugh along with me, and I say, okay, let's do this. And then we go into the induction. Now, the camera, I like that because it makes them feel safe, but it's really for me because in doing that, everybody's on notice that there's a camera there and everybody's on their best behavior. And that's always worked very well for me. Now, I recommend it that all the men use something like that. But women, I think it's good for you as well because it protects you. and they know the camera's on, so they better be gentlemen. Does anyone not do the arms rising and falling? Is anyone that has not done that? Because if everybody, you haven't done it? All right, you haven't done it? Okay. All right, let me show you, because this is just really a cool thing to do at a party when somebody says, oh, you're a hypnotist, show me something, okay? So go ahead and stand up, please. We'll run through this real quick. I want you to put your hands out in front of you, please, okay? Straight out. Okay. Now I want you to take your non-preferred hand and turn it palm up to the ceiling. Good. Yeah, that hand, yeah. Okay. All right, now just close your eyes. All right, now I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine that in your non-preferred hand, I just placed 3 encyclopedia books. Very heavy encyclopedia books, and you feel them drawing that hand down. They're very, very heavy, and they're going to get heavier as this goes on.
Put your hands out in front of you like this. All right? Everybody can do this if you want. It's just a test. All right? Now, I want you to turn your left hand up toward the sky like that. All right? Now, close your eyes down. Close your eyes down. And I want you to imagine something for me. I want you to imagine that in your left hand, I've just put a 6-pound leather-bound book in your left hand. And it's very, very heavy.
Feel that weight. Feel that weight. Okay, now, I want you to imagine that on your preferred hand, around the wrist, I have just attached a string. And that string is attached to a large bouquet of helium balloons, so large you can feel the tug.
Now I want you to imagine that on the wrist of your right hand, I've tied a string to a helium balloon, and you can feel it tugging. That's right, you feel it tugging your arm higher and higher and higher. That's right.
Heavier and heavier, you feel the strain of your muscles with the weight. Now, on your preferred hand, I have just tied a string, but this one has a better balloon on it. You can feel the significant increase in the tug as it pulls higher and higher and higher. You can feel the tug pulling up and up and up, just really tugging. That's right. Now, because I'm a real stinker, in your non-preferred hand, I've just put 2 more heavy, thick encyclopedia books and feel them weighing down there.
And now I'm going to put more books in your left hand. Boom! And they just get heavier and heavier and heavier. Now, keep your arms exactly where they are right now and open your eyes. See the difference? That's good. That shows good imagination. You would do very well in it.
Now everybody freeze right where you are and open your eyes and look around the room. Now, as you can see, I'm continuing with what I would do at the party. As you can see, we've got a very wide range of changes that people had. Some people changed just a little. Some people changed a heck of a lot, okay? Now, this means, you can put them down now, sorry. I know those encyclopedias are pretty heavy. Okay, what you can see is that this is just one test for imagination, which is one of the keys to being a good hypnotic subject. Now, if you didn't change very much, it doesn't mean you're not a good subject. It just means that that wasn't maybe your imagination game. But for those of you that had a significant change in your arms, that means you've got a pretty good imagination. You'd probably make an outstanding subject. And here's where you start pointing people out and you say, well, you would be really good. I could tell you'd be really good. And you're setting them up. You're making them believe that they're going to be good hypnotic subjects, because if they believe that, they really are going to be good hypnotic subjects. I need somebody for a Spiegel eye roll test. Well, actually, I want to test a lot of people. Here's what I want you to do. Just kind of have your head level, looking straight ahead, all right? And I want you to roll your eyes up so you're looking up, like, imagine you could look up through the top of your forehead, okay? Just look up there, but keep your head level, all right? As you do that, I just want to go around the room. Good. Catch your eyes up. Look upward. That's right. Yeah. I just want to see what I got here already. Yeah. Oh, you did.
Sorry. I thought you already looked at me.
Okay. All right. If the eye looks like this, that's a okay subject. If the eye looks like, can everybody see that? If the eye looks like that, that's an even better subject. And if the eye looks like that, that's a really darn good subject. All right.
When you had him close his eyes, were you looking for the flutter?
No, I wasn't looking for the flutter. You'll get the flutter. But what I was really looking for was, I was looking for if he could show me just the sclera, just the whites of the eyes. And when they can show that, Dr. Spiegel found that there was a 75% correlation between high hypnotizability and eyeballs that look like that. So that's a cool thing to do. You tell them in the bar, you say, yeah, I'm a hypnotist. Well, I couldn't be hypnotized. Well, there's a simple eye test, and do this.
Let's do this. Here with the rest of the people, I'm going to give you a suggestibility test. Interlock these fingers. That's right. Interlock these fingers. Squeeze those hands tightly together. Tightly together, okay? Look at me through those index fingers.
Let's do finger magnets, because finger magnets is kind of a different sort of a test. Go ahead and have your hands right down there and clasp them nice and tightly, okay? Now, when I tell you to, you're going to go up and you're going to go do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, up, and stare at that space between your fingertips. And imagine that those fingertips have very, very powerful magnets in them. And you can feel them being drawn together closer and closer as you stare at that space between your fingertips. And they just get closer and closer. And you feel them drawing in closer and closer because they want to touch it closer, and you're touching.
Put your hands out in front of you, please. All right? Now I want you to lock your fingers together and point your index fingers out. Okay? Now I want you to imagine that in the fingertips of those index fingers There are powerful magnets, and they're being attracted to one another. Now look at me through those index fingers, okay? I want you to imagine in the tips of those index fingers are magnets, strong magnets, and they're being drawn together, tighter and tighter and tighter, and they want to touch. And now imagine I put a vise on it and squeeze it tighter and tighter. Let's do a suggestibility test. I want you to take your index fingers and pull them apart, about that far apart. Okay? Now, here's what I want you to imagine. If you look at me through those fingers, I want you to imagine that those index fingers and the tips of them, they're little magnets, and they're drawn together, tighter, and they want to touch, and they want to touch, and they touch. Okay.
And you can go magnets. Imagine there are magnets in those fingertips drawing closer and closer and closer. It's probably not good if they come up and immediately touch like that, because then they haven't figured out why it was going to happen. Now, now you can sit down. This is a physiological thing, right? But most people do not know that. But here's the deal with the finger magnets. It's not really a suggestibility test, but what it is it's a test for, anybody know?
They follow directions.
Compliance or resistance. So if you've got somebody and they're like this, and they will not move them, and they will, I mean, do not pick that person. That's bad news. Don't pick that person at all. All right, press down. Close your eyes. Even harder. Even sleep. Right here, you just go deeper and deeper, relax. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. Just as I rotate your head, you go deeper. When I stop rotating your head, you go even deeper, even deeper. That's right. Just let go every nerve, let go every muscle, let go every fiber. Just relax and go deeper. Put your awareness on your breathing. Breathe in relaxation. Exhale tension and worry. The reason why my leg is like this is because, you know, I can rest my elbow on my thigh, and she could press down as hard as she wants. She could stand on my hand, and it's not going to go anywhere. Now, some people, what they'll do is they'll go like this, and they'll kind of grab your hand, and that makes it a little bit difficult to slip your hand out. So you don't want to do that. So sometimes you'll reposition it and put it so their fingers don't go over your palm of your hand, okay? So that's why my elbow is on my thigh, so that I'm stronger and I have leverage, and she can't push my hand completely down. Because if it's a battle of strength, I don't want to lose. Okay, so we'll do it now. Yeah. So go ahead and press on my hand. Right.
Am I really pressing?
Really press this time, right? And close your eyes, and you can press even harder. Sleep. So rotate your head. Just go deeper and deeper, relaxed. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. When I stop rotating your head, you go even deeper. Go even deeper. Good. And as I talk to the crowd, you go even deeper. The sound of my voice takes you even deeper. It's time to look at hand drop induction. You've all heard of fight or flight. Animals display this behavior. Human beings display this behavior. And it protects us. And if something really frightening or exciting happens to us, this is what protects us. And we'll either fight to save our lives, or we'll run away to save our lives. But what has been found is that when you trigger the fight or flight response, you also open up a window of opportunity during which that person will accept a reasonable brief suggestion. In our case, that brief suggestion is going to be sleep. Okay? So how do you get that window of opportunity to open? Well, you have to shock that person. Close your eyes. Even harder, sleep. Right, just go deeper and deeper, relax. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. Just you have to either make a loud noise or a sudden jarring movement, something along those lines. That's how this works. And when you do, you've got, let's see, normal waking state. You're just kind of tooling around here, kind of normal waking state. And then something happens. I shock you, and you spike up. And that's your fight or flight. And that means you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable for 0.5 seconds. That's how long you're vulnerable. When I do it, when I trigger the induction, I'm going to pull my hand out that way. When I do, her hand's going to fall down on her lap, and I have a 0.5 second window during which I have to tell her what to do. Write me a blank check. That's too long, and sign it, yeah. After 0.5 seconds, you're going to come back down to here and say, why the heck did you do that to me? Right? But if during that 0.5 seconds I say something like sleep or relax, you are going to go down into hypnosis. Okay? Now, the next thing I have to do is I need to do something to deepen your trance, because if I don't, you'll come back up again. Yeah. So usually, some people you just go sleep and they'll just go way down there and you don't have to do much to them. But don't plan on that, because it feels silly, you know, when they pop back up again. It's just it makes you look bad. All right, so Manyi, have you ever been hypnotized before today? It's really nice. All right. So what you have to, I just want to find out first. Do you have any wrist or elbow or shoulder problems? No. And can you roll your head around like that? Is your neck fine? Okay. All right, now Manyi, all you have to do is follow my instructions as I give them to you, and you go in beautifully. Okay? All right. Are there any suggestions I can give you while you're in hypnosis? Like suggestions like being in a wonderful mood, or just being happier, or I don't know, anything, being happier. Okay, good. All right, Manyi, put your hand on top of my hand. Go ahead and put that hand there. Okay, put your hand, now press down really hard. Press down hard. You're stronger than that. Harder. Now close your eyes. That's right. Even harder. Sleep. As I rotate your head, just go deeper and deeper relaxed. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. In a moment, I'll stop rotating your head. When I do, you go even deeper relaxed. Go even deeper relaxed. Good. Just let go of every muscle. Let go of every nerve. Just let go of every fiber. Just relax and go much deeper. Good. You're doing great. So you trigger this fight or flight, and then within 0.5 seconds, you say sleep or relax, and they drop down. And then you just do, the simplest one I can tell you to do is do that 10 down to 1 deepener. Keep that in your mind. In a moment, I'll count from 10 down to 1. As I do, allow yourself to relax even more. That's right. 10, drifting down. 9, letting go. 8, relaxing more and more. Right? So you need to have a plan when you do the instant induction. There is a tendency to do the instant induction and get so excited that you forget to do the deepener, and if you do that, you know, they will come up. If you're too late in doing, say you waited a second, that might be a little bit too long, and they might come back up. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate this. Bob, would you please come up? This is really important. Safety. Okay. When you do the hand drop induction, there is a tendency for them to lurch forward like that. All right? So for that reason, you should never, ever, ever do this induction standing. Because if they lurch forward like this, you know, you're going to lose them. They're going to face plant. I've got my hand on her shoulder so she doesn't drop forward, but if she does move forward, I'll know where she's going. I don't even have to watch her, because if she moves forward, if I feel my hand going there, you know, I know, whoops, down she goes. So I need to catch her. So I've got my hand on her shoulder so I can steady her, and so I know where she goes. Okay. So then I say, press on my hand. Go ahead and press on my hand. Press harder. Yep. Close your eyes. I'm not going to do it yet, but close your eyes, and now I'm ready to do it. Same questions? Wrist, elbow, shoulder, any neck problems? No? Okay. All right. Good. All right. So put your hand on top of my hand. All right. Press down on my hand. Even harder. You're stronger than that. Close your eyes. Sleep. Even deeper. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. When I stop rotating your head, you go even deeper. Go even deeper. Good. And sit in perfect balance. Let go every muscle. Let go every nerve. Let go every fiber. Just relax and go much deeper. Good. Press down on my hand. Even harder. Even harder. Sleep. So rotate your head. Just go deeper and deeper. Relax. So what I want you to do is I want you to put your hand on top of my hand. Like that. All right. Now press down on my hand. Harder. Close your eyes. Even harder. Sleep. As I rock your head, just go deeper and deeper relaxed. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. Put your hand on top of my hand. We're going to do a quick one with Shannon. Okay, now press on my hand. Right? Harder, harder. Close your eyes. Press harder. Sleep. As I rotate your head, just go deeper and deeper relaxed. And the deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. Press on my hand. Close your eyes. Sleep. Right. That's That's right, even deeper. That's right. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. When you do, you just feel better than you have all day. Eyes open, see how good you feel. You feel good, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good. So what happens is, this is a repeatable induction because he never knows when I'm going to pull my hand out. I could do it as soon as he puts his hand on top and presses down. I could do it, I could make him wait for a while and then do it. Now, don't make him wait too long, because I don't know about you, but when you're pressing down like that really hard, my muscles start to cramp up, and that's not good. So do it fairly soon, but he never knows the exact moment when it's going to happen. Don't telegraph it. Don't go, press down on my hand and sleep. You know, that kind of telegraphs it. So his hand, not going into hypnosis. Yeah. So his hand slaps down. Now, know where his hand's going to go. You know, you don't want to do it over this group of pens here, you know, or something like that. One of the films, one of the ones that was in that one video I showed you, was taken at the NGH convention, and the lady that I did the hand drop induction on, I mean, she just was a real flopper. Yeah, an extreme somnambulist. And it was so funny because I said, okay, so press on my hand, and you can see her mouth the words, oh, I know this one, and boom, it didn't matter. When they put their hand there, I like to do it where their fingertips are like that, because if their hand is too far over there, it just makes it more, or if they grip, you don't want that. You want to be able to slide your hand out real quick, okay? So put it there. The other thing, and this is what messes so many people up, but here, this will make it easy. It's right, 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 left. Right, 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 left. Left. Here's the right. Right foot down here, right elbow on right thigh, right hand out, okay? She puts her right hand on top of my hand, okay? I'm sitting on his right side. I'm putting out my right hand. He's going to put his right hand on me. I'm going to put my left hand on his right shoulder, okay? So the only thing left is the hand on the shoulder. Everything else is right, 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 if you're a right-hander. If you're a lefty, left, 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 right. Well, it's right, if you're right-handed? I'm right-handed. Okay, so put your right elbow on your right thigh. And you're sitting on the wrong side of her. That's what the problem is. You sit on her right. That's the other right. Right, 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 and right. Okay, so the reason why my leg is like this is because, you know, I can rest my elbow on my thigh, and she can press down as hard as she wants. She could stand on my hand, and it's not going to go anywhere. Make sense? When you also, another thing you do, look how I'm sitting. I'm sitting side on to him and slightly ahead of him. And the reason why is I want to be in nice and close, but also I want to be in so I can catch him. What I'm going to do is, first I got to find out, do you have any problems with your wrist or your elbow or your shoulder? No? And can you roll your head around like this? Can you do that? You don't have any neck problems? Kinks? Oh, well, you'll feel better with those, okay? All right, Am. We'll take care of that. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to press down on my hand. Right, like that. Press down on my hand. All right, now close your eyes. Press even harder. Oh, you're stronger than. Sleep. As I rotate your head, just go deeper and deeper, relax. And the deeper you go, that's right, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. So you're in nice and close. Another thing. Elbow. Right elbow, right thigh. The reason why is press. He can press, he's stronger than me, but he can press all day, and he can't get leverage because he's, see now if I'm out here, now it's a test of strength, and he's going to win. But if I have my elbow on my thigh, he cannot press my hand down, all right? So you ladies, these guys can't, you've got leverage. They can press all day. They stand on your hand. They're not going to get your hand down. So that's why we have that hand on the elbow, just like that. And I want you to practice these hand drop inductions. Remember, you whip it out, sleep, and in a moment I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. You know what you can just do? You can just do sleep. 10, 9, drifting down. Even that'll work. But have in mind what you're going to say, and 10 down to 1 is an easy thing to do. So, but have it in your mind, because the first few times you do it, you might have difficulty continuing to talk and deepen the person. It happens sometimes. But as long as you do, they're going to go in. And everybody, know this, sometimes somebody can pop out. However, everybody goes in. When you pull that out and say sleep, they do go into hypnosis. Some of them will elevate out, but it's not very many. And it's probably going to happen mostly when you didn't deepen right away. But everybody, when you pull it out, they're going into hypnosis, because that's what human beings do when you shock them. If you want to get really artsy, you pull it out and wait maybe a quarter of a second and shout sleep. But you don't have to. In practice, if you pull it out and say sleep at the same time, their brain gets it. It's perfect. So you don't have to time it exactly. Just do them at the same time, and that'll work fine. Shake my hand. Just, right. And then as you bring it away, stare right there. Look at that. Okay, that's how it starts. Yeah, it's cool the way it does. And it's stuck right there. Now you can, and you don't have to do it from a handshake. You could do it. That's okay. And then you could just do it from here. Just do it. And yeah, I mean, a handshake is more natural, but you can just do it. You can just do it from there. Erickson had some great ways of establishing rapport with people, and that was why Bandler and Grinder modeled him. And so anyway, there's an induction that he used to use called the ambiguous touch induction. What Erickson would do, and this is why no one would shake hands with Milton Erickson, because he would do this to people, and they would they just didn't like Milton doing this to them without their permission. So, but I have your permission, so this is easy. So, it doesn't really matter, you know, on your right side, left side, or anything like that. All you have to do is break contact in a particular way. So we could start out just by shaking hands, right? Shaking hands. And what I'm doing is I just want to make sure that her hand is, for the purposes of this demonstration, that her hand is being supported. Like, I'm not going to pull my hand out, it's going to flop down like that, okay? So I'm just doing that, and we shake hands. And then as I pull my hand away, normally we just shake and then you break hands, but I'm not doing that. And as you look right there at that knuckle, right there, as it stares there, you breathe in and breathe out. That's right. And I don't know if your eyes will close in a few seconds, or if maybe they'll close right now. But just as you allow yourself to relax, and each gentle exhale takes you deeper and deeper, and you notice that the hand just stays there, and it feels comfortable there, and you relax and breathe out again. And you can allow your eyes to close and just relax and go much deeper. And just to steady you, I'll put my hand on your right shoulder, and you relax even more. And as you feel your arm there, you may notice your arm slowly to begin going down. And as it does, you relax more and more. And if it slowly begins to go down, as it goes down, you relax even more, feeling better in every way, just relaxing, letting all the tension go out of your body, just relaxing. That's right, and each gentle exhale takes you deeper and deeper relaxed. Good. Now in a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and when I reach the number 3, your eyes open and you feel really, really good and relaxed. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open. See how good you feel. You feel good, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So what it is it's kind of, part of this is that it's an automatic thing. Like when you shake hands with me, we're going to do it normally. Right? You do that. And it's an automatic thing. And when I show you the handshake interrupt, that's where this really comes into play. But when we shake hands and we break, but what I'm doing is, it's called ambiguous touch because, and I can do it here, I can do it with this one, you know, and her hand is now, I can feel her hand supporting. Like if I drop her hand, it's not going to drop in her lap. So, but as I pull away, touching up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, like that. And there's a natural tendency for the hand to stay there like that. It's just what human beings do. And then what I do is I draw her attention to it. And as I draw her attention to it and talk about how relaxed she is, and she breathes in and she breathes out and relaxes more and more. All right? And then I can suggest to her, then I just talk her down into trance. I just deepen her. That's all you're doing. What was that girl's name that we worked with? We worked with her and her sister for smoking.
Monique.
Monique, yeah, Monique.
American Idol Monique.
Yeah. Her, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the catalepsy on her. Right, now, the other one I want to show you is the ambiguous touch induction, handshake induction. And so what you do is you just do a normal handshake, all right? And you feel that you got that catalepsy there, right? Right? And then as you withdraw it, okay, you have it again. Right. You know what? It's funny. It doesn't work with Monique. It doesn't work with her. But she's an outstanding subject. You know, she just drops like a rock. But for some reason, when I do the ambiguous touch, can't get it. See? No, it doesn't. That's interesting.
What?
Oh, it's okay. Let me come up here for a second, please. Erica, I want to show you how this works.
Okay.
So let me hit your hand. Right, good. You notice the way your hand just stays right there? And just look at that knuckle right there. As you stare at it, you can allow your eyes to close down and just relax. That's right. Stand in perfect balance. And breathe in relaxation. And exhale tension and worry. As I put my hand on your shoulder, you just relax and you know that I've got you and you stand in perfect balance. And in a moment, you may notice that that arm may slowly begin to lower. I don't know if it'll start lowering in a few seconds or if it'll start lowering now. But as it starts to lower, you allow yourself to relax even deeper. And just get that catalepsy, and it's amazing. And you just pull it away. And what I'm doing is, I'm doing little touches, up, down, up, down, up, down, as you pull your hand away. And as I do, it's going to cause you to just stick your hand there, and it just does that, which is kind of a neat thing. And it's ambiguous touch. And you can do it. There we go. That's it. The moment I count from 1 to 3, and when I reach the number 3, your eyes open and you feel really good. 1, 2, 3. Eyes open. See how good you feel. You feel good, don't you? It's funny because when I shake your hand, and I don't get catalepsy with you, which is very, I mean, she's obviously a really good candidate, but for some reason the ambiguous touch induction doesn't work with you. But that's okay. It's not a problem. So but the ambiguous touch, the idea is, you know, I pull my hand away, but I'm touching. I touch the heel of her hand with my middle finger, and I touch the top knuckle of her index finger with my thumb, and then I tap her her pinky finger with my ring finger, and I brush against this knuckle with my thumb, and then I touch with my on there. Don't go to the inside of their hand, because that's kind of touchy, and that's more making them come up rather than relaxing them. So you're to the outside, the top, and the bottom of the hand, like that. Ambiguous touch come out. You'll probably make about 7 touches, but as you do, there's a natural tendency to form that catalepsy, and then draw their attention to it, and then deepen them into hypnosis. Do it to me. All right, so withdraw your hand, and then do it. No, do it. You want to touch this part of my hand and the top part of my hand.
Oh,
okay?
so it's a double.
It's, yeah, up and down, up and down, up and down, but a little gentler. That's why it's ambiguous touch. Yeah, and so if you do about 5 to 7 touches, you know, you can do it, or am I going to do it? All right. Yeah, a little bit softer and a little bit slower and a little bit. It's just feather-like touches. Yeah, which is why. Yeah, that's good. That's it. That's what you want to do. You can treat it like any other induction that you do. You know, you've done the induction, now do the deepening, then do the therapy. And so you could do this with somebody on the street. I mean, it's non-consensual hypnosis, but of course, as experienced hypnotists, we also know that you're not going to get somebody to do something that's against their moral or religious. And so what are you doing? Well, okay, you're just having fun. I mean, I'll do it with friends sometimes, and they'll go in and they like hypnosis, so they don't care. I mean, I don't think anybody in this room would mind if somebody else in the room was shaking their hands and then did this and then just deepen them into trance. I mean, we like going into hypnosis, so nobody's being harmed. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes and close them again. And this time when you close them, just relax even deeper. Let your eyes open. Now close your eyes down, way down. That's right, you're doing great. Just listen to the sound of my voice. And the sound of my voice can always help you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. You'll hear other noises, traffic outside, maybe a passing fire engine, maybe doors opening and closing, maybe camera noises. None of these sounds will bother or disturb you at all. In fact, any other sound that you hear will just help you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. Good. Just listen to the sound of my voice. The sound of my voice will always help you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. Now you'll hear other sounds, people talking, children playing. None of these sounds will disturb or alarm you at all. In fact, you'll find that they can help you to go even deeper relaxed. Good. Just let go every muscle, go every nerve, let go every fiber. One, deeper relax. Just listen to the sound of my voice. And the sound of my voice can always help you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. You'll hear other noises, people walking around, people talking, the musician playing. None of these sounds will bother or disturb you at all. In fact, any other sound that you hear will just help you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. Good. Let's talk a little bit about the distraction filter. That's what I call it. Other people call it things like the sounds around you patter that I included in this version of the Elman. And I call it the distraction filter. And who is it? One of you guys, I can't remember who it was that was doing it. Along with saying you're going to hear other things, this fella said you might feel stuff, or you might notice that you have to swallow. Was that you, Bob? Okay. Very good, very good. See, because it's not just things that they're going to hear, it's things that they're going to notice. And so when somebody is their eyes fluttering, it's okay. You might say, you might notice that your eyes are fluttering, but anything that happens like that just takes you deeper. Real good deepening technique. That's good. But the distraction filter, the idea is that in therapy, in stage, no matter what, you don't really control the environment. One of my offices one time had a dumpster right outside the window. And usually between 8 and 9 in the morning, I'd hear the truck coming. Boom, 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 you know? And no doubt somebody's in the chair. And so I would inoculate them against that sound, that awful sound that they were going to hear. And I'd say, you may hear things like, you may hear a dumpster being picked up. But nothing you hear will bother or disturb you. It'll just make you to go deeper. Make you to go, oh, that's awful. It'll just make you go deeper. And even when you hear my malapropisms, you go even. Anyway, so, but it's not just stuff you hear. It's stuff that you might feel. Like, for instance, I was coming back from consulting with another hypnotist down in Oklahoma City a couple of years ago, and I was flying back, and this girl, this is something that never ever happened to me when I was a single guy. Did I tell you about the girl on the airplane when I was flying back from Oklahoma City? All right, it was down there with Patrick, and I'm flying back, and I'm sitting there in the window seat. Is 2 and 2 window seat, and this girl comes in, really, really cute. This is something that never happened to me before I got married. But we've been married for 25 years, and this sort of thing happens now. So anyway, I'm sitting in the seat. It was like a 2 and 2. It was a smaller aircraft. And this really attractive young woman comes in and sits down next to me. And she has her books with her from college, and there's some advanced psychology books, 300 or 400 level psychology books. So right away I know she's probably messed up, because that's... I mean, isn't that what we always say about psych majors? They're taking psychology because they want to understand their own screwed up nature, you know? So anyway, so there she is, and she's doing that, and we start to take off. We start rolling down the runway, and she pulls her tray table down and slams her head down and just starts to shake like a leaf as we take off. And so I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "It's just I'm so afraid to fly." And I said, "Well, you know, I've worked with a lot of people for fear of flying, and I think I can help you." And I explained what I do, and she said, "Well, yeah, well, maybe." She said, "But I'm usually okay once we take off. As long as we don't hit any turbulence, I might be okay." And just at that moment, the thing started rocking and rolling. Boom, 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 boom. So anyway, she said, "Alrighty." So I said, "Put your hand in my hand." Close your eyes. Boom. And down she went. I did an instant induction on her. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. Or no, I'll pick your hand up and drop it. And when I do, you're going to be on the best vacation you were ever on. It's all expenses paid. Eat what you want to eat. Drink what you want to drink. Take whomever with you want to take. And I'll also give her the idea that any movement you hear or the droning of the equipment just sends you deeper. All right, get ready. 1, 2, 3, drop. Boom. Well, it's a small aisle, and we had a large flight attendant. And this flight attendant would walk down, and every time she passed my new client, she would bump her with her hip, with her shoulder. And I began to think maybe she was doing it on purpose because she didn't approve of what I was doing. But it's okay. I mean, I couldn't ask her to stop. So about the 3rd time she did it, I decided to do my distraction filter. My distraction filter, a lot of people call it the sounds around you pattern. You know, suggest what they're going to hear, and they'll do it. But I call it the distraction filter because of this instance, because the waiter or the stewardess had kept bumping into this girl. As she'd be walking down the hallway, and she'd bump her with her hip. And she'd walk the other way, and she'd bump her with her hip. I don't know if she just didn't like the idea that I hypnotized the girl, or if she was just being careless. But every time it seemed she bumped it. And so I told her, and every time your shoulder gets brushed, that sends you even deeper and makes you have an even better time on your vacation. And anytime you feel someone brush up against your shoulder, you'll go deeper. Every time you hear the engine sounds, you'll go deeper. The stewardess continued to bump her, and she continued to go deeper. And like I say, she smiled all the way to Atlanta. She didn't come out until I emerged her.
How long was that?
After we landed.
I mean, an hour, 2 hours?
It was about, I don't remember, hour and a half, you know, something like that.
Wow.
You know, every now and then. Now I didn't need to do it because I gave her stuff to do. I put her on vacation and she could do things. But every now and then I'd say, just imagine counting backwards, or I'd do another deepener just to make sure that I knew where she was. But I probably could have gotten away with not doing it, but I just wanted to make sure she stayed in her happy place.